Hello everyone, it's Ace with All Cool Entertainment, and today I'm reviewing Altdeus Beyond Chronos. I hope I said that right. Now I believe this is a sequel to Tokyo Chronos, or it at least exists in the same universe. Both experiences are available on the Oculus Store, but for today we're just going to cover Altdeus Beyond Chronos. For this review, I played on my Oculus Quest 2. Before I begin to share with you my experience, I just want to give a huge thank you to the folks at My Dearest Inc. for sponsoring this video. I truly appreciate it. The music all over this game is incredible. It's something that you would expect from anime, especially something with giant mechs and bright neon lights, but the way that it is implemented here is very well done, and I truly enjoyed it. From slow piano orchestral pieces to loud rock and roll, everything worked. On top of that, of course, you've got the character voices. The voice cast did an incredible job. I left thinking that they all did a great job, and it's one of the best I've ever heard from an American voice cast from doing some type of anime. And it could very well be the highlight of the game for me, besides the overall story itself. The visuals in this game are very, very good for the most part. The characters themselves, they look incredible, not only in their 3D forms, but when you see the 2D, animations as well. It's incredible what they did there. I wasn't expecting like a full anime intro when you start the game, but it was great. And it makes me really want to see more of the series, maybe as an anime or something. I don't know, maybe it already exists and I just don't know about it. But as far as the actual settings go, like the art pieces behind everything, there is a little bit to be desired there. They're very, standard backgrounds and things like that. To me, the way the characters are talking and moving, and even when they're moving when they're not talking, is the most interesting. Like, in the background, you'll see a character, I'll try not to spoil here, but you'll see a character in the background moving, but they're not a part of the current scene. So they're sort of pacing in a way, but it just looks incredible. It's really well done. And there's also this one part in the opening after you do the first maybe 5 minutes that you're watching a cutscene, and again, I don't want to spoil, but what happens during the cutscene is fantastic, and I loved it. Very well done. But like I said, the sets or set pieces in different parts of the stories could have been a little better, but everything else was fantastic. The best way I can describe the story is that it centers around the idea of humanity. It questions your view of humanity, as well as the characters' views of humanity. It also challenges you based on your actions. This is done via the responses you can give when asked certain questions, as well as via the characters themselves when they interact with each other. You'll see that some characters throughout the story make some questionable decisions that ultimately lead to either really good or really bad things, depending on how you look at it and depending on which ending you get and which route you go. I honestly was shocked at the amount of depth and the amount of questioning I was doing while going through this story. Because on the surface, it doesn't feel like it's that deep. You at first think, oh, giant mechs, destroying these giant alien meteorite things. But as you progress, you start to see the characters develop, and it's incredible the way they did it. I have to commend them on that. It was very well done. Besides the questions of humanity and the philosophical stuff, it really is about these giant meteorite creatures trying to destroy the Earth. But like I said, that's just the surface level. Let's just say I was reminded of some scenes from the Matrix movies while I was playing this game. Now, the gameplay category here, this one is very hard for me to describe because this isn't a traditional game, and it's not even a traditional VR game. It's more of a traditional VR experience. Essentially, if you're an anime fan, manga or manga fan, or you just love a good story, this is the type of immersive experience you want. You feel a part of the story because you're able to communicate with different responses that lead to different things. But as far as actual gameplay, like this isn't like Vader Immortal or The Climb where you're doing a lot of moving around during certain parts. One of the things is the immersion factor, because that is the best part about VR. That is what's most appealing to me. Now, this type of immersion for this title is interesting because this is, like I said, a story. It's an interactive story that you feel a part of, and I feel like they do a really good job here with that. Now, because the title does have a what I call anime look to it, You might not feel like you're immersed in the story right off the bat, because you might be thinking, oh, I'm just looking at a cartoon. But once the story starts to develop, and there's certain sounds and actions with the controller, certain vibrations at certain points, you do kind of get hyped up, especially before that first mech fight, right before you attack, all the way up until you get to that point. It's pretty intense, and I liked it a lot. So like I said, this plays more like a story than a game. And like I said, it's awesome. The way things unfold, they took me by surprise, had me guessing quite a bit, which I really enjoyed. I found myself wanting more, and luckily after the first playthrough, they let you do that. If I were looking at this as a traditional video game or traditional VR game, I would probably give this somewhere around a 3 out of 5. But that's not what this is. This is an interactive, immersive story, and that puts it at a 4 out of 5 for me because it was pretty good. I liked it a lot, and I felt myself wanting more. What I'd like to see in a future installment is maybe more ways to move around when in the mech or something like that. Maybe some more interactive items as far as using your body a little bit. But for this particular piece, it was a 4 out of 5 for me. Great storytelling, very interesting story, and that for me is number 1. There are a lot of games that really annoy me with the voice acting, but this is not one of them. They did a fantastic job. You really get a sense of these characters' personalities. Now, should you spend $39.99 on it? I think to me, with the amount of content you get, and if you're a fan of anime or manga in any way, then it is worth it at that price point. Thanks again to the folks at My Dearest Inc. for sponsoring this video. You are the first, and I won't forget it. I look forward to what they put out next. And if you're interested in sponsoring any of my videos, please send me an email to the email address on my YouTube profile. That's going to do it for me. Take it easy.